Good evening, America. Yes. All right. Well, you've probably seen a whole lot of things, but I'm just going to make sure that you know that this is real, right? This is Check It. And I will also, even though Richie Blue said you should just focus on Check It, I will show you Gunslinger. Yeah. Have a look at that. Sweet. Yep. Let's have a bit of a chuckle. You know, you kind of hear this noise. You know, this is the noise of a injected molded bob. You know, kind of clunk clunk. But you don't hear no... You got that? There's no clunk clunk with Gunslinger. That's my latest. You know, you have a bit of a chuckle. There's kind of like got to be a soundtrack going to come out on what the sound of an injection molded plastic bob is. Yeah. Look at that. Sweet. Like... So soon, if you write to me on PM, if you order a Gunslinger and you write to me in the notes, there's a notes at checkout, there's a notes area. And if you write to me, like we can do this, this single tone. So at the moment we have two-tone. We're loading up the other 11 colors for the insides. And then even this piece here, we can make as a different color. So you can have one-tone, two-tone, three-tone. So we're going to go red, white, and blue. You know, we have got another one coming, which is going to be another version of a Reach It one, which will be black, red, and white, you know, as a Reach It one, or black, white, and red, something like that. So anyway, like, look at that. They are just gorgeous, right? So the word is out on the streets. They're being delivered. Yes. All right, let me see who's here. Jason Lehman's here. Doug Slobodnik's here. Jacob Dell is here. TJ must be here if Jacob's telling him to be quiet. Jacob Dell, Andrew, fellow Scott Demmers. Yeah, you can get red inside. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Looks sweet, doesn't it? Tom Brenniger's here. That's great. Tim Gill, like TJ. Oh, come on, man. Come on, man. I'll tell you what we can do is, you know, you... Greetings, Ken. Look, this is sweet, man. But, no, it's not too late. We haven't even made your one yet. I don't think, TJ. No, just write to me, PM me, and I'll edit it. Yeah, it's easy. Even if we've made it, if we haven't shipped it, we can still change it because everybody's ordering everything. I mean, it's gone crazy, buddy. Like really crazy. You can't imagine the popularity of it, and then and the creativity. Like later, I'll tell you. So I was talking to TJ on his podcast the other day. That first. The history of plastic injected bobs. Hey Barry, look at this. This is our latest product. Boom. Made in our little factory, yeah? Sweet. And then I'm going to be talking about this. Check It. Check It is real. TDS meter. So I'm going to talk about that. Richie Blue. I couldn't resist, man. I said to Richie, I just come off the phone to him and said, I'm going to go and talk about Check It. And he says, well, I won't log in because everybody will want to talk about Gunslinger. And I thought, oh, I can't help myself. Dante's here. Yeah, Justin's here. Yeah, like one of the things, like when you talk about it being a shoe, like you got to remember that we glue it, you know, down here to make sure that it's. We've got neon pink, so we glue it down here. But in a sense, that's what makes it look that little inch longer than a plastic injected bob, right? So yeah, yeah, we've got. I will process. Okay, I will after this call. I'll do your order. Okay. Man, I'm crazy, but I have to talk to Richie every morning to make sure we got it right. So, yeah, anyway, we're excited. It's really, really a sweet, and every one of them is sprayed with genuine 3M Scotch Guard. So that'll make it easier to wipe them clean if you do choose like the lighter colors, like the whites or whatever. And you see this, yeah. Designed in the USA by Richie Blue, handmade for you by Reach It. I really like that. I think it's a really sweet touch. Yeah. So look at that. And then for those of you who don't know what it is, this is the tip tech, right? You can tip your water out while it's still on your belt, and then plug it back in again. Boom. Yeah. Thanks, Harley. It's exciting, right? I mean, this is history in the making. We've actually sent one to Noah Pedersen for the window cleaning museum, because it's oh, it's the thing. Richie Blue, who's Richie Blue? He's the inventor. So some of the things, like what we talked about, is up until now, every time you've bought a bob, you've been advertising your manufacturer. So Unger will make you a green one and say, hey, you got to carry green around. If you don't want to advertise our colors, we'll make you a black one. Ettore the same. They make a black one and they make a yellow one because Ettore is yellow. And then you've got Mormon, pump out the Mormon blue. So everybody's walking around with the manufacturers advertising on them, which is pretty like. There's a book I read about 20 years ago. It's called Corporate Masturbation, right? Where the company actually thinks they're so important that they think that the customer should advertise them, right? So, so the logic of Gunslinger, when Richie showed me the Gunslinger, I said, I'll go off and buy all the fabrics in the world so guys can match them to their business or the uniform. But there's another layer of that which is coming, and that is this: that those of you who end up, we've already got one guy's bought 3 Gunslingers for himself, right? And all different colors and shapes and all that. And so, like later, you might say that you find a customer that's particularly into something like the Seattle Seahawks or something. So then you might make a Gunslinger in Seahawk. Let's say you've got 10 customers, not just one, right? But you actually get a Gunslinger that's Seahawk colors, and then when you walk into their place, you're wearing the Seahawk colors, and then you've got instant rapport, right? And there's money in rapport because it doesn't come. Of course, you build the job, but the money of rapport is called tips. If you get in real tight with somebody, right, then they're going to tip you. And this little baby here, right, could end up being a tip jar, which is its prototype name. It's kind of funny, right? Yeah, that's the link. Yeah, we're shipping, Justin. We're shipping right now. Sorry about pissing you off the other day too, buddy. Thanks for the note saying it doesn't matter. But anyway, I still felt bad, right? So that's it. So it's got the tip. It was called the tip jar originally as a prototype while Richie was developing it, right? Because it can do this, yeah, and you can tip the water out. And other guys like Austin, Richie didn't even pick it up, I don't think, when he was designing it, but Austin Childress said, no, when I run out of water, instead of going back to my truck, I've still got water in here, so I open this up and throw the mop in there, grab that water, both ends, right? Clip this back up and keep working, yeah? So it's all good. So thanks buddy. So from a footprint point of view, you've got to remember that it's designed to be bigger. TJ's got really fat legs. I've seen him on videos, and this sits on his leg. He doesn't complain about it at all. And Tim Huber, the other outlaw, he's got really skinny legs. Like that dude's like, he's like bordering on anorexic how skinny he is, right? But it sits on his leg like perfectly. So you'll see from here that there's actually a curve in the Gunslinger, and it sits on you, right? So it just sits on you. Oh, did you? Yeah, I've got your video. I'm gonna, TJ, if it's all right, I'm gonna take out all that bullshit that you talk and just cut to the chase and make another video out of it. Is that all right? Because God, you can talk. But I love it. I love doing podcasts with you because it's fucking. There's never a. Oops, I just swore. Sorry, guys. There's never a moment of silence. Yeah, if you have the front sling, the logo is going to be here. We haven't sent out any with logos yet. So if anybody's wondering why they've ordered and they've seen all these other ones going out, we've wanted to get the manufacturing right first, make sure we've got all that right, and then we'll go to the heat transfers like that. So if you have a front sling, the logo is here and within that space. And if you don't have a front sling, then it's on the panel. It's on this panel here, right? So yeah, that's sweet, right, Jason? Look at that. This is red, white, and black. Reach It Colors Gunslinger. So I'm pretty excited about that. We're actually developing a program right now. We probably release it today or tomorrow about how once a month we're going to give away a free Gunslinger, right? Made to your specifications. So you could win these competitions every month and end up. Well, if you ordered it with a front sling, just PM me, Doug, and I'll let you know. Who's that? Leslie. Oh, fantastic. Yeah, I am, Maddie. Like, I don't know if, not many people know, but actually the last 6 weeks at Reach It have probably been the hardest 6 weeks of the whole 8-year experience, but we haven't really told anybody about it. Michael Galler's here. Good on you, buddy. Nice to see you. Brian Paris is here. So this is the Gunslinger, right? But you can ask any questions about it because Richie Blue's in the house. But actually, I named I named Richard Whitlock's here. I'm good, buddy. I named the, okay, Henry, make sure you send that to me by PM, yeah? So this is Check It, right? So this is about Check It. And then, so basically, the idea of Check It is it's a TDS meter. So you can see here is the TDS. I didn't get a battery with it because we can't ship with batteries. So I said, oh, don't send me the batteries. And now I can't demonstrate it, but I'll have batteries today when I put it on a pole. Joe Skenter's here. Hey, Joe. Look at this, buddy. Did yours arrive early? We've been getting these to you in 3 days. Like, I'm paying maximum shipping. I'm not going cheap on anything, as everybody knows. But we're putting these in people's house and in people's hands real quick. So it's 3 to 4 days right now. If whatever we're shipping right now, I can't say if you order now that it'll come out in 3 or 4 days, but it won't. But we won't use that shipping method. But for all the orders that are pre-ordered from February, March, and April, they're all going to go out. Oh, okay. No, nothing's too late. If you haven't got the if you haven't got a tracking number, Doug, then nothing's too late. Okay. Okay, Joe's is going to be there tomorrow. That's because you're in Buffalo, buddy. It takes forever to get to the other side. Yeah. Alrighty. So there you go. Okay. So that's not what I came here to talk about. Inline TDS. So here's the thing. If you're running a crew and the crew's pretty simple, right? And well, even if they're not simple, everybody wants to know that they've got spot-free water. And this is in particular for DI systems. And in particular, if you imagine that we have what we call the drive-through car wash method. And the drive-through car wash method is when you're not doing a lot of water fed, but you're in a high TDS area. So if you're in a high TDS area, then all the resellers are going to say, oh, you need an RO, oh, you need an RO. And there's money in an RO, right? Big money, more money in an RO than there is in a pole. So if somebody can sell you an RO and a cheap pole, they did that to make more money, not because it's better for you. And so what we do is we recommend you to go with DI to start with because it's $200, right? And then $200 for the resin. So $400 you're in. That's your spot-free water. But obviously, if you're in a high TDS area, you're going to chew through that resin real fast. So what we do is we say, well, think about the drive-through car wash method. When you go through a car wash, I mean, they wash your car with tap water, right? They don't go using expensive DI water. And so you do all the scrubbing up. We also call it the pressure washer method, by the way. So any of you who are pressure washers, the same logic. You pressure wash the house, the windows are clean, but they're not spot free. So then you turn on your DI water, right? And then you basically do a quick rinse, just up, down, across the top, up to the center, across the top, up to the center, across the top. That's the top done. Then up, down, off, right? And you'll have spot free windows with constructor brush and hydroblade. But one of the issues of the drive-through car wash method is how do you know that your DI water has come through, because you've just been using your system with tap water in it. So if you imagine that as a scenario, now whether it's DI failure or whether it's the drive-through car wash method, by having Check It between the top of the pole where, the hose goes up the top of the pole, the tube, and between the top of the pole and the constructor brush, right, you can just press this little button here, right? You squeeze the unit. This is our third variation, by the way, because there are all sorts of other problems which you probably don't want to know about, unless you tell me the story, Perry. So, and then down here we've got 3 little lights: green, orange, and red, right? So green is for go. That means the TDS is under 10. Under all conditions, that'll be spot-free water. Orange is between 10 and 100, and then red is over 100, right? So because there's a lot of places, like I've just been talking to another Kiwi and an Aussie today, and both of them are in situations where they've got TDS 50 and it's delivering spot free. So you'll know, okay, this says it's orange, but it's TDS 45, in your area it's going to be spot free. So that's why the meter is actually still there. So that's the first point. Every time a guy, he's working on a huge job all day, but he's not going to leave the pole up all day, right? He's going to bring the pole down, move to the next side. Even if it's every side, he's still going to bring the pole down or whatever. So if he brings the pole down, squeezes the Check It, right? Green to go, he's away. He knows that at this point in the day, my DI is still working. If he's a guy using the drive-through car wash method, then he's going to squeeze this, and then it'll stay on as long as the TDS is changing. So it'll stay, if it takes 15 seconds for the DI water to come through, it'll stay on until you have 5 seconds of the same TDS, which in our case will be 000, yeah, for the DI water. So it's a pretty cool innovation. Now the second part of it is that if you're a brand new window cleaner and you're trying to work out, you know, what kind of system should I buy, we're going to say, hey, start off with DI because you're not going to use that much water, and you can use the drive-through car wash method. So you're only going to be 10 seconds a window. Even if it costs you $5 an hour, you still only need to spend 10 or 15 minutes on a house. So it's going to cost you $1.50 a house in DI resin. Like that's like in Texas or something, you know. So, or Arizona, like where the water's really hard. So in this sense, what he can do is that you can, as a brand new window cleaner, you could actually take this meter, use it with the drive-through car wash method. But if it's consistently, everywhere you go in your town or your work zone, right, if it's consistently orange, then you know that you can continue with DI affordably. If it's consistently red, then you know that it'll actually pay to get a reverse osmosis system at some point. Once you start spending $50 a week roundabout in DI resins, then this is where this will come into its own and just tell you, hey, you know, you're probably an RO user. So that's its dual purpose. It's going to be in line with little push fits, you know, just little push fits on either side, and then you'll just plug your rhino tube in the bottom, plug a rhino tube loop across to the constructor brush at the top, and then it'll just be sitting there in your face to check it. Let me see what you guys have been saying while I've been talking. Yes, I know there are some people going crazy on that. I had a big phone call on that this morning, Ben, but you know, the bottom line is what I said to them is this, that if you were educated and given the choice to buy cheap rather than just being treated as cheap, you probably wouldn't have any problem. But the reality is, but the upset is when you go, hang on, I didn't know that. And so when you rang me and you've been talking to me forever, and then I've explained to you the difference between floppy poles and rigid poles, that's when you got upset. And so of course it's all my fault for some people, because I'm the one who educated you and said that's not the case. Now had you have been educated that, Flip, good to see you, buddy. He did a video where he got a zero pole and flipped it and flew off into the distance, yeah. So like, but the amplitude was like crazy. Ben, you can put the link of it, you put the YouTube link of it up in here, right? So people can have a look at it. You know, and somebody said that's fantasy. It's not realistic, and I agreed with him. I agree. I said to him, but James Riley with the Samurai, you know, putting a hose in it and demonstrating that the Samurai spills the water onto the carpet rather than onto your pants. I mean, that I love that video. He demonstrated one point, but he also exposed another. He demonstrated a positive, exposed a weakness. Yeah, so I think you know, sometimes a demonstrative video, a dramatic video is the check-it is $49.95 as retail, but right now they're $39.95, right? So you'll see that actually if you go to checkout, they'll be $39.95. Dante, you might check that for me, because I think the real price, once we start pushing these out through distributors and stuff, they'll be $49.95. There you are, Ben. So you have a look at that video, and it just demonstrates, and what I've explained to Ben is that pole is going to give him a crazy inefficiency and crazy potential for injury, because he's working all these control muscles trying to control that thing. And meantime, he got sold a pure water system or whatever. But like I've always encouraged guys, even if I have to finance guys in, if they're really, you know, if I can feel that they've got integrity, I'd rather finance them into the real gear, into the good stuff, you know, and say, well, let me help you get professional tools from day one. Because how many guys started with a floppy pole and went back to their ladders? I can tell you, loads. Yeah, there it is. Yep. You can run the tap, switch to DI. Well, no, but some of these guys are in TDS 500, 600, 700. So it makes sense. It doesn't make sense to you because maybe your TDS is 150 or 200, in which case. So there's ranges where it makes sense. And the idea is, don't spend your money on a pure water system, because there's no difference between an IPC hydrocart and a single DI tank, which is 99 bucks. IPC hydrocart's 5,000. They'll ship, so this is the prototype, right, for the final checking. I've just got to do a test of it today, and then we order them, and then we'll have 1,000 of them within a week. So they're made, but they're not tested. So yeah, so then you've got you know, you're just like, the whole point is, if you're a salesperson, it's your responsibility to educate. Paul is here. Hey, from Korea. Good to see you, buddy. How do you go from one, the other? That doesn't make sense, Travis. Sorry. So, you know, the whole idea of, you know, staying away from thinking that the mystery of pure water is something weird. As a rule, if you've got DI, you'll never regret having DI. It's a separate system. RODI is another system, right? So we've got reach at flow, and then we've got coming as reach at flow too. But so it's just a whole new sale. You don't upgrade from DI to RO. You just get an RO system, and they're expensive, right? So why would you spend $2,000 if you're only going to save $20 a week? I'd rather spend $20 a week forever. You know, it doesn't make sense to me that guys are being taught to justify, you know, RO systems, which are fickle, problematic. You know, there's all sorts of things that are wrong with ROs. Like, if you had the choice to stay with DI only, you should stay with DI only. Like, because it's just plug and play. Nothing can go wrong. Yep. Dirty cart, dirty TJ. Can change your hose connection, tap the DI. When I buy much pole, can switch one of the 12 buses to the beast. One of the moves on. That doesn't make any sense. I would love to know what you said, but I can't read that in live. 5-stage hydrocart cost me 6 G's. Exactly, $6,000, and you can get exactly the same level of purity for a $100 DI tank, or it won't last long. It'll have a consumable cost, and you don't get any increase in efficiency, none. Like the water out of an IPC hydrocart and the water out of a DI tank has exactly the same amount of efficiency for your hourly rate. So it doesn't deliver you a return on investment. So that's why I say to everybody, start with DI and then move from DI, you know, use your check it. If it's always red, move from move from DI to RO because it's going to save you money, right? When you know it's going to save you money. And until then, don't do it. It doesn't make any sense. Oh, it's just that rattling. Good. TJ's got money, man. Yeah, I bought I bought 3 RHG5s. I bought 3 of them back in maybe 2007. But that was a beautiful unit. I mean, that was before Sean got into you know, kind of ripping back the savings. Like the RHG5 was made with champ housings, and all the things were non-proprietary. So when you bought an RHG5, just like with a reach at flow now, if you buy those, you've got the lowest cost of water. But then Sean got into the proprietary cartridge, you know, the ink cartridge for your inkjet printer Logic, right? He started making cartridges that if you buy one of his products now, you have to buy your cartridges from him to suit it. And once you have to buy his cartridges, then they're overpriced. So, you know, $50 worth of DI resin is in a $120 cartridge. I don't even think it's $50 worth. I think it's like $30 worth of DI resin is in a $108 cartridge. So you got to buy that cartridge, and then he makes money. So what happens is when you bought an RO to make it cheaper to clean windows, right? He's clawing back those savings on the basis that you need an RO, and then he's clawing back those savings back to him and making profit out of that consumable. Whereas if you have refillable cartridges with DI resin, you have you know, 10-inch sediment and filter cartridges, which you can buy for $6 at Home Depot or Lowe's. You know, then all of a sudden, all of the savings, if you're going to buy a reach at flow, all of those savings are going to you. You pay me once. You pay me to design a cart that's going to be really convenient, looks like an espresso machine, looks fantastic in front of the customers, really low footprint, half the weight of the steel 1-inch frame monstrosities. You know, we've made it from aluminum and carbon fiber so that it's lightweight, easy to maneuver, loads of functionality, and you know, you can get all of that, but that's what you're paying for. You know, because the actual membrane that goes into an RO cart is like 200. You can buy them off us for $200, right? So you go spending $1,500, $2,000 for these steel trolleys, steel frame trolleys that are welded together with a couple of wheels flapped on, and the actual thing that's doing the cleaning for you is a $6 cartridge you can buy from Home Depot, and a $200 insert that goes in and purifies the water, which is made by somebody else anyway. You know, we don't make our cartridges. RHG don't make their cartridges, the actual filters. You know what I mean? So then you go, you know, that anyway, blah blah. You know, I just think integrity in manufacturing and selling based on delivering value, not mystifying. And oh, there goes another gunslinger sale, Richie. Okay, so that's it. That's my little rave for the morning. Let's see if you guys got any questions, and then I'll bolt out of here. Yeah, this is if you're in a high TDS area. Like let's say you guys in Ohio, we're in a high TDS area, and you haven't got $2,000 to put together for an RO system. Then you'd buy 2 DI tanks. You'd have your check it, so you know what it is. You wash the houses, the frames, and everything else like that. If you've got a pressure washer, you've already done the same anyway. Hi, John. And then you go back and you turn your DI water on, just like the drive-through car wash. You pay that buck at the end for the spot-free rinse. So in this sense, you do the same thing, right? And you pay the $1, right? And then you turn on your DI resin, and then you wait for the water to flush through. And that's where check it comes into itself, because you'll press the button and you'll see it go from 100 to 90 to 80 to 70 to 60 to 50 to 40 to 21 0, and then sorry, buddy. I do get excited about this shit. I had one guy who said, I'm going to record it and play it back on half speed so I can understand what you said. So, oh, Justin Monk, you're a legend. Oh yeah, I can do orange on the inside, Justin. No problem. We've got a beautiful orange. I don't think I've got the swatch here, but we have a really nice, bright orange. Yes, the other way is to rent DI. Don't even have to buy DI, just rent a Culligan's one. But realize this, that if you rent a Culligan's one, that is called what's called regenerated resin, and regenerated resin, well, virgin resin lasts 50% longer than regenerated resin. So you'll change your tanks out, more frequently, but they're bigger tanks because of that. They're not at the same level of. They deliver exactly the same result as pure water, so no different than a $5,000 IPC hydrocart, but they will expire faster, so they give you more, right? Whereas like we can give you 2 little quarter cubic foot tanks, and they'll last almost as long as a 1 cubic foot Culligan's one. But $25 for the tank per month, $75 a refill, or $100 a refill, or whatever. It's a great way to get you in. The most important thing is start, and then focus on your technique, get the right brush, get the right pole, so you've got your efficiency. And then once you're making money, there's never a problem buying another piece of equipment if your equipment's making you money, giving you leverage, yeah? So there you go. All right, who's here? So there you go. Hydroblade hole sizes are they're not different from color to color, except green is still the original. We haven't run out of green yet, so we haven't switched over. But all of the other colors are the same size. Although I think blue has behaves as if they're thinner, because I think we may have had a problem when the blue was in there. So not a problem, but maybe just a tiny weeny bit. But we're actually using the little drill bit and fixing it up. Yep. That's it. So that's check it, man. Check it out. I'm excited. So actually what's happening is that, we're going to put the tube on here, and the push fit will be here, and put the tube on here, and the push fit will be here, and then it'll be in line wherever you want it. But my recommendation is straight under the brush, right? So every time before you put the pole up, you just squeeze the unit and check it. Yep. Sweet. That's great. You just bought a 16-inch brush and put the... how did that go? Did you notice the difference? Because you've been using the green ones for a long time, Kai. Yeah. Tony is here. Tony is in the house. Yes. By the way, we still have... That's bullshit, man. We still have... we still are in pre-order phase, right? Until we catch up with all the pre-orders, we're still in pre-order. And to go out of pre-order, I'll just tell you what's going to happen, is that obviously this is a limited edition pre-order product, so we made a few hundred of them, but that's, once they're gone, they're gone. And then we've got some other ideas what's going to come next, as far as little incentive things, but that's the pre-order limited edition Gunslinger belt buckle, yeah? And then on the back, you'll see it's, genuinely from Reach It and Richie Blue. So it's kind of a piece of history right there. And then, oh, Noah Pedersen's here. Say hi to Audrey. Hi, Audrey. So, there you go. Oh, dear. Yes, you're a good man. That's good integrity right there, Ben. That's it. So, yeah, so what's going to happen, and then once we get a bit of time, then we've got to rebuild the website, put the inside colors in. We've got some other fabrics. Then we're going to bring out some flamboyant fabrics. Oh, did I tell you that? Like, yeah, the Seahawk story. Like, you'll be able to tailor make your gunslinger so you match the the personality of your customer, that's another level that you can go to. So rather than advertising your manufacturer, rather than advertising your company, you can actually go in and look to create rapport. So one of the things we'll do, like July 4, we might bring out an American, red, white, and blue ones to wear during that time, or maybe even an American flag one. We're working on that right now. Christmas time, Gunslinger may look like Father Christmas if we can, you can imagine this is like his beard and stuff like that, so we might buy some fur and make a Father Christmas face. So it could be quite fun, right? Oh dear. But that's how you get tips. You get tips from having rapport. Anybody who doesn't know how to get rapport doesn't get tips, I'll bet you. Yep. All right. Belt buckle is awesome. Yeah, the belt buckles are still going out. We haven't run out of them. We're still doing that. Didn't notice any difference with my 16-inch brush opposed to my other 16-inch brush, but I do want that TDS metal you're holding right there. These are on these. You can buy it now online at $39.95 in the store as a pre-order. But I'm checking this today, Kai, on the poll. I'm just checking the functionality, and once I've got the functionality sorted, then make sure it's right. I've got no reason to believe it's not. And then we push the go button, and then next week, by the end of next week, we should have 1,000 of them. Yep. That's pretty exciting. Jeremy Whitaker's here. That's good. Tom Bruniger. Better get a flipping belt buckle. Yeah. Yeah, I'm good. It's my bedtime too. Well, not really. I'm at home. Right? It's daytime here. So, and this maybe like this, I've only got one more week. I've actually signed the lease, paid the deposit, had the house cleaned. So I've got my new house. So this weekend I'll be moving. This may be one of the last broadcasts from this fine place with this great view. Yeah. But life will go on. That's horrible, TJ. That's hilarious. All right, so this is me signing out. You've got Check It, right? You can go to the store now. There's a link on this thread from Dante, and you can buy Check It as a pre-order. But it's... oh, yeah, that's right. I got to do your order. Good timing. Okay, I got to do that right now. And then this is a Gunslinger. Yeah, it's a super cool chair, right? Ta-da! Gotta make sure. Woo-hoo. That's it. I love my chair. Yeah. Yeah, you'll get your belt buckles, don't you worry, right? But this is Gunslinger. You can see basically the logic that Richie's come up with is that you've got basically a reservoir here for your squeegees. You've got a reservoir here for your mops. It'll carry 2 mops, bunch of squeegees. Some of the guys will slide some spare channels down in the sides here if they got to carry more channels, and then you can put a blade in here or a sill squeegee. You can just drop it in here and carry that. You can carry loads of gear on this, right? And then when you put the mop in, because it's really spacious and there's room for 2 mops, as a rule you're not going to scrape the side, right? So you're not going to run the mop down the side. But if you do, it'll run down here and it'll run into that cavity there and into the bucket, yeah, into the bottom. Now, the other thing, what was the other thing, Richie? Because I just read a message that came in that made me have to think. Oh, so if you're, one of the things which we notice with all of the plastic injected bobs is they all have a sharp edge for where you put your squeegees. Now again, when you look at that, you know how wide that is. That's like 4 inches wide. So most of the time when you put your squeegees, no matter how many squeegees you put into your Gunslinger, you're actually not going to scrape the blade against a surface. But when you look up close at this, you can see that that's actually a fabric, right? Can you see that? That's a fabric. It's not a piece of hard plastic. So this is not going to chew out your rubbers. But it makes sense if you're a manufacturer to make a bob that chews out the rubbers so that you buy more rubbers, doesn't it? It doesn't to me, by the way. That's not my culture, but there's plenty of business, you know, built around consumerism and built-in obsolescence. That's what they try and do, make the product fail. And because nobody's ever thought about it before, but nobody's had a solution to it, because plastic bobs for 50 years, 1977 is the first plastic bob, you know, it's lived a great life, it goes down in history, right? And then Richie Blue comes out with, I'll just show you this, right, so you actually get it, that there's, I wonder how I can show you that, there's a slight bit of flexibility in there, yeah? So that's sitting up high, that's not a hard edge, that's a soft edge, yeah? So even if your squeegee is rubbing down there, it's not gonna get chewed out, right? Yeah, I've got some of these in stock, Thomas. You can order this and I'll get it out early, even ahead of the pre-orders, because I actually made a couple of these for myself. These are Reach It ones. Yep. So these are soft edges, so they're never going to chew out your, oh, there you go. So you can see that, right? I can bend that down. So your squeegee blades are not going to chew out. Now, some guys go, 99 bucks for this? Like what? I'd rather spend 25 bucks on your plastic injected bob. And you go, it's a plastic injected bob that's going to wreck your rubbers, $6 a rubber or $4 a rubber, whatever it is. Like, it's not how much does Gunslinger cost. It's how much it costs you to not have a Gunslinger. Like, what are you paying right now in rubbers that are getting nicked and scraped, and you get that little, there's always a little mark where you're just wearing just that much of the rubber, but you only have to wear that much of the rubber. Logos are going to go, so if you get a Gunslinger with a front sling, the logo will go here, right? And if you get a Gunslinger without a front sling, then the logo will go in here. Yep. Bobs for bozos. I like that, Ken. Yeah, on the front where the loop is, right there. Yeah, sweet. Jason Hatch is here. Jason, I have some purple ones for you. Just waiting for your order, buddy. I've already made them. We sent Ken's off yesterday, by the way. So Ken's is on the way. But I've got 3 waiting for you to buy them. Yep, look at that, beautiful. Oh, and just so those of you who just joined me, right, we can, in the end, if you write me a personal note and say, can I have a 3-tone or a 3-color or a tri-color, whatever might make sense, then you can actually make a back panel. This can be a separate color, this panel here, and this can be a separate color. So we have some of those. These, and in the end, these can be just separate colors if we wanted to, but that's a little bit more complex right now. We're not ready for that. But you can certainly personalize these like crazy with what you want. Yeah. Okay, well, I'll send them to you, and then you send me the money when that order comes through, right? Does that work? These are 99 bucks, Jose. 99 bucks. Yeah. So you're going to save money on your rubbers, no problem, and really comfortable, hugs your leg, doesn't knock the back of your leg, doesn't get your pants wet. This way I can have the 3 that you have and add the 2 to the order. Okay, I can do that. Yeah, no problem. Yep. Yeah. Yeah, but look, TJ, like any of you are really creative and say, can you do this, this, and this? Like, we'd love it now because we actually want to put some out that are really cool. Yeah, they all got front loops, Jason. I think front loops are the go. And then it hugs your leg. If you look at the profile of it, right, that's the fabric there. But that, when it's loaded up, it's like this, so it hugs your leg like that, you see? Like, it's super cool. It's a really, really amazing design. And then what happens is that it's got a sling up here, right? So it's hanging on your belt. And as you load it, so you'll see, as you load it, all the weight ends up here. So when you talk to Justin Smith, who's been wearing one for 8 months, he said, you don't feel the weight on your belt. You feel the weight on the bottom, just on the bottom of your leg, but it doesn't swing, you see? Because Richie said the swinging's bullshit, man. You don't want it to swing. It doesn't knock the back of your leg. Even if you kneel down, it stays vertical and just stays in its place. All right, I'll do that. Sweet. Or do you want to just pay for them later, Jason? I don't mind. It's sweet. Look at that. Yeah, subscribe to Outlaw T Squeegee. TJ Gilbert, who's T Squeegee, he put a fantastic video out yesterday explaining all the benefits of this. We're going to edit it and take out all the talk, but it's a fantastic video. If you go over to Outlaw Window Cleaning Facebook group, and don't forget Advanced Window Cleaning Facebook group if you're not in it, because that's our one, right? But there you go. It's exciting, right? I mean, there's loads more benefits that Richie can tell you about. We've been talking this morning about, just there's so many things. Yep. It's just, it doesn't swing, Jeremiah. It doesn't swing. You kneel, it stays like this. You stand up, it stays like this. You walk, it stays like this. It just barely swings. It never knocks the back of your leg. Keeps your leg dry because it's sealed, right, as a bucket. Any water that comes off the edge of your mop, right, comes off your mop, runs down into here. We spray them all with 3M, genuine 3M Scotch Guard, so that we're waterproofing them, which will make them easier to clean and make it easier, like, as you go on, you can maintain them. You can put loads of squeegees in here. That's a 4-inch wide, what do you reckon? 4 inches by 2 inches nearly? Something like that, Richie will know. Right? And then you can put 2 mops in here. So if you've got a small mop and a big mop, you can put it in there. When you've got your squeegees in, they don't sit straight up and down. They sit on the angle. So the blade, when you go to bend over or do a twist, the blade is never in your gut. You'll never get it in your gut. The mops are always in the front cavity, so the mop is never up against your body. Yep. So you'll never get a dirty shirt, never get a wet shirt. Because that's the thing, once you've used a mop on a piece of glass, that's now got the dirt off the glass in that mop. So it's always leaving a dirty mark on your shirt. That's all gone. I mean, Richie took 2 years thinking through everything he hates about a product that's never been changed for 50 years. I know somebody's, you know, the Samurai's come out with some improvements on it and there's no doubt in my mind, if Richie hadn't thought of the Gunslinger, then the Samurai is an amazing improvement on plastic bobs. But I'm sorry, but the bob is dead, right? It's a stillborn. It's, you know, you know, like, anyway, it's unfortunate. But anyway, that's being an entrepreneur. We take risks like that. You know, sometimes we win, sometimes we lose. We've got products in the Reach It range that just flopped from day one. So it's no big deal, right? It is business. Yeah, that's right. I know you pay a lot for those shirts, Jason, even though they're not the true Window Genie color, even though you got told they were, but they're not. You know they're not. But they're beautiful and really comfortable. I know. I'll give you some shit. Okay, have a look at that. That's great, right? I mean, it's just magnetic, like compelling. Buy one. Store.futureofcleaning.com, or no, actually go to gunslinger.futureofcleaning.com because you can learn more about the Gunslinger. And then there's videos in there in the video section with Richie Blue explaining everything. Yeah. No doubt the Samurai would have been an amazing improvement if the Gunslinger didn't come along and it didn't get juxtaposed, you know. So we're happy talking about the Gunslinger, and we've got loads of our friends that have bought both so they can understand the benefits of both. I think that's fantastic. Support Jared, support us, you know. But man, you know, you can't compare that clunking thing to this. It's just, you know, I mean, the race, this is Usain Bolt, right? For the last 10 years, this is Usain Bolt. Like, you go in a race with him, you lose, right? And by the way, that's what makes the world go round. Like, people have got to be prepared to take that risk. People have got to be prepared to run with Usain Bolt, knowing that he's the fastest man in the world. And so part of, you know, being a good sports person is actually doing stuff that may actually win. Usain Bolt may get an injury and I might get across the line, but I've got to be there ready if he trips, if he gets an injury. Right? If he's sick, I got to be there ready, so I go all out, but I know that I'm not the winner. And so, you know, we're going to lose gracefully as well. You know, sometimes we win, sometimes we lose, but if nobody was prepared to lose, then nobody can win. Like, if nobody wanted to run against Usain Bolt when he's out there on the track and he's just on his own, I mean, that doesn't give him a gold. You know what I mean? So it's fantastic. I think we've got a fantastic, you know, just, you know, somebody's going to win, somebody's going to lose. There's never a draw. You know, so it's no big deal, you know. So it doesn't need to be as emotional. It's just pragmatic, you know, business. 2 products came out at the same time, and Gunslinger killed the Bob. Dead Bob. Okay? All right. I know it's entertaining, but I'm proud of these things. You know, like we're out there, you know, we're breaking ground, we're changing the industry. You know, we've changed the way people clean windows. Oh, and I'll tell you what, yesterday I was in a design meeting and we've got Richie's got so much more stuff coming. Reach It's got so much more stuff coming. Like, we have got a serious amount of stuff coming, yeah? And we're editing Constructor Brush a lot too. So we're really tackling the beauty about Constructor Brush, just the same as the Gunslinger. By the way, some people say, oh, it's too big, it's this, it's that, all right? Like, let me say this really clearly. Whatever you think about Gunslinger and you haven't got one, buy one, support us, and then you can get direct access to Richie Blue and say, hey, like, if this was a little bit lower, if this was a little bit thinner, if this was a little bit shorter, if this was like, I only use, you know, 10-inch mop and a 10-inch squeegee because I do all, you know, low socioeconomic town houses or whatever. All the windows are small, so I just use this. Like, if I could get a Gunslinger that was like this, guess what? We can do that. Same as Constructor Brush. We can do whatever you want, right? If you give us a good enough definition of it and we can see that there's a market, you know, of other people that are just like you. So if you want to critique it, don't critique it from your lounge room looking at my video, right? Critique it by buying one, using it, and then basing your opinion, your public opinion and your personal opinion on fact, you know, and support the innovators. Right? Because if you guys don't buy, we're lucky because we've sold a couple of hundred of these already, you know, so we're lucky. We've got money in the bank, you know, for the effort that Richie's put in for 2 years. We've been at it for 6 months. So we've got some money coming into the bank, so it feels good, you know, but we need that support, right? Like like, you know, if you took me back, like I started Reach It 7 years ago with $10,000 and a 17-year-old kid in an apartment in Shanghai because we didn't want to go home losers because we failed on another venture, right? So, you know, we need your support to help us, and we reinvest everything. Like we don't go pulling big money out of Reach It. Like we throw that money back in so we can make it, you know, more amazing products, more molds, more mistakes. Yep, get more criticism and more praise. Yeah, so you're gonna love it, man. You're just gonna love it. Let's see who's talking what. Yeah. There's oh, Scott's here. Woohoo! Look at that. Indira's great. Yeah, Indira's like team. She's family. Indira and her brother bought the 3rd Reach It pole in America, right? And now she works for Reach It. I love that story. Look at that, Scott. Is that sexy or what? Huh? This is a Reach It red, white, and black. This is one of them. The other one we're going to do is black, white in there, and red around the outside. So it's going to be so cool. But we actually ran out of black. That's why some of you might have ordered and see that other people are getting their orders before you. That's because we actually ran out of black. So anybody who chose white, anybody who upgraded to a color. No. I can repeat it for Scott. I don't need to repeat it for Scott. Scott's already got his. Okay. Like magical. Yeah. Beautiful. Great design, Richie. Proud of you, man. Right. And a great partnership. Richie and I talk every day. It's a fantastic partnership. We talk about, he's got so many other products coming. We've got, you know, let's call it the rag bag for now, or the towel bag, but he's got designs. He's got those being being tested by his buddies and everything, and getting the feedback on them. So the first design is cool. And then once I process your order, yeah, Ken, if I just stop talking and go and do your order so you can go to sleep. I get it. Okay. All right. That's it. I'm proud as punch. Proud of you, Richie Blue. Wherever you are, and you know, proud of my team at Reach It. You know, you can't build a great company, you can only build a great team, and that team will build a great company. So you know, Reach It is a total sum of, you know, nearly 30 people in the team now. I've got Dante and Indira as Americans in America. We're talking to another lady here actually who's American, who's going to join our team, I hope, in sales. And you know, so we're doing our very best. We know everything we do is made in China, but we're doing our best to, you know, if we can't make it in America, we can hire Americans. You know, you're our market. 85% of our turnover is from the United States, and we love you guys. I think my personality matches you guys. Since I was 19 years old, I said to my mom, I said, I should have been born in America. I should have been an American. Like, look at me, like, all talk. So, you know, and we're allies, right? New Zealand, Australia, America, we're all friends, yeah? And Canada, yeah. Okay, here we go. Thanks, guys. Thanks for the love. Cheers.